live now. So live streams look fine. Cool. Let's check it on here. Make sure we're a go. Aloha, everybody. If we are live currently, I guess we'll see in a minute. What can you see right now? I don't see it. Just want to get down in the chat room. For anyone who wants to ask any questions. Nice to see you. Aloha. If you can see us, we are working out details right now because we're using a GoPro for the first time, and I'm just trying to make sure you guys can even see us. Let's see. I don't see it anywhere either. There's a delay. I don't even see, you got it to pop up. I don't even see that anywhere.
It says upcoming. Yeah.
Weird. Says we're 2 minutes into a live. Which is strange. Bear with us if you can see us. We're just trying to figure this out. This is our release Sundays live. We're actually deep in the midst of training right now. Prerequisites in the core series work for our dear apprentice Angela here, and we have another apprentice Morgan here who's observing, and we're just doing lots of training. We're deep in it, so I couldn't fully do a live today for everybody. So this is kind of our live, is a look into what goes on here and what we're doing and preparing for the level 1 apprenticeship program coming up in July for some of our apprentices. And we actually have gone through one core with her, and we're about to go through another, because this one and every core you do gets progressively more intricate, more advanced, more detailed. Yeah, that's weird. Is it scheduled right now? Because it says
it's scheduled for 11:57.
I took a pause before I hit live. I think that's why I might have thrown it off. I'm not really sure. Waiting. It's so strange. Wow. Well, I'm hoping you guys can see us, because we can be seen. And yeah, see, it's not even showing up on my channel even. For our account, so, but it says it's live, so, which is weird, because it's kind of a lie, I guess, isn't it? Because we're not really live, guys. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. You normally do lives not through this, I take it.
Yeah, this is our first time using, which we need to be using, because we're shooting a lot of stuff with this for the film, and so this felt like a good opportunity for us to dial it in. I'm just curious why we are not popping up at all. Should be live. Why don't we do this? I'm gonna try and, because it says it's live on here. It says our stream is good too. So strange. Well, we're just gonna go with it because I guarantee you it's still recording and it will pop up most likely when we're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because, and our apologies everyone, we wanted this to be more live and interactive for you, to have kind of a real live look into some of our core work, some of the prerequisite training we do, just a look right into the facility where we're at and how this goes, and give you more of an experience of that, since we couldn't really do a full live because we were just under the gun to get a lot done today. We wanted it to be a little more interactive, but obviously that doesn't seem like it can be the case. Try to straighten this out. There we go. But you'll still get a look in. It just won't be as live as we were hoping it would be, giving you guys the ability to kind of ask us questions or connect with two of our apprentices that are in the process and ask anything you wanted to. So with no further ado, we're just going to start into a core and give you a look into how neuromuscular therapy works, how the core series exploration works, and this is her second core now. So it's exciting because each core you do is going to be more mechanical and less personalized and inflammation and trauma based. As the detox and disarming of the trauma comes out, it becomes more enjoyable. You become more of a self-practitioner and a practitioner than an actual patient or a client that's receiving, because you start engaging more in the actual techniques, you start engaging more in the process that we're doing together, really. Yeah. This is an interactive practice where you're earning a lot of the transformation that happens. You're not just laying here and receiving it, and they will both, fully agree on that front that, this is a process of rite of passage for you, facing your trauma and working through it and exploring through it, and it's messy and beautiful at the same time, but on the other side of it is freedom, and you earn it. It isn't something you just lay there and receive. And it's another kind of loving, just in reference to one of the messages recently, right? There's this misconception that healing is supposed to just be soft and relaxing and nurturing, and those types of healing, the superficial tissue healings, are beautiful, and they do have a beautiful place. They've actually been what's ruling the concept of therapy for quite some time, but they are only working the superficial waters. And I think they're amazing as a reward for after you go into deeper structural work, where you're really going into trauma and damage in the body that you're never going to reach massaging the surface of the tissue. Because the issues are in the tissues, and this is a water vessel, the deeper stroma sediments down, and we have to go down and stir it up to release through the bloodstream, the sewage system of the body, and then from there get a lomi massage. From there get some Swedish massage, or even a deep tissue massage to continue moving it. But to go through and activate the deeper traumas and activate the inner physician, we have to go to the nerves. We have to go to these areas that are uncomfortable. And I don't see that it's not loving, actually. I see it's loving in the most powerful love, because loving even relationships, if it's just on the surface and it's just only when we're comfortable and in good times and when everything is positive, that's one form of relationship. But the strongest relationships are when there's love and the ability to go into uncomfortable places and deal with uncomfortable things and face uncomfortable traumas together. and address uncomfortable things, you know, calling each other out for things that's really love. The people that love you are going to say, yo, this thing right here. They're not just gonna not say anything, or, oh, you got some mud on your face, you know what I mean? Like, those are your real friends, not the ones who just don't say anything and let you walk around with some mud on your face. So this is where we have to shift this definition of what's loving. I'm referencing a practitioner who's a Lomi practitioner who experienced some of this work and referenced that, you know, this work, he thought that, you know, there should be, it's not a loving treatment. And I said, that depends on your form of love, actually. I feel like it's the greatest love that I feel from someone who's willing to go to the depths of my traumas and face them with me, because it's uncomfortable stuff. And the fact that we're willing to do that is, to me, the greatest expression of love that there is. It's much easier for me to just give you a soft tissue massage and do very superficial things and relax you and make you feel good. But then once you're relaxed and you get off this table, you're back to that trauma in your shoulder or your hip. Whereas if we dive to the depths and really face a lot of this stuff, you get off the table and your body feels different and it works different and it's magical. And that is a whole other gift of love that comes that you can only know if you really experience it. So nonetheless, I just wanted to bring that preface in. You might hear a buzzing sound. That's this sound table. We are working with a sound technology. We also have an infrared technology. So we have two different technologies that she's laying on. So it's giving her the infrared negative ions. It's from a company called Vitamat. And then we have the Vibe 3.2 by Bioharmonic Technologies. It's a sound vibrational bed with two transducers and speakers that are running vibrational sound. That's stimulating the pleasure in her body. Pleasure travels faster to the brain than pain does, so it blocks the pain receptor gates. Isn't that interesting? So this is replicating a more ancient form of this work that isn't the Western form that is currently being practiced and that we're training in, but it's replicating this, what we call dynamic stimulus release, where the pleasure is blocking the pain. Also, when you stimulate pain and pleasure, it activates both hemispheres of the brain, which stimulates the neocortex, which is where your higher functioning is. So when we incorporate pain and pleasure, we're actually not just making it easier for her to release her trauma, we're actually activating higher centers in the brain function and evolutionary stimulation of the brain to its higher divine potential. So with that, we're going to start on the head and doing the head sequence. She's going to feel my nails. The nails are a form of acupuncture without release. And I'm going to start sweeping around. Remember, the whole movement I do is across, right? So we're going up and down, side to side. Now we'll always start with a circle. That's that kneading, which is, again, all sacred geometry. So we're circling. We're using that anchor, manipulate, and release technique. Circling around, casing the skull, circling. And as I do a sweep of the circle, that kind of warms it up. And now I'm going to go up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side, making the cross pattern. Why? Because all your tissue is cross-lateral, it's cross-fibrous, it has a cross shape in its texture. Isn't that interesting? The sacred symbol of the Christos, it's actually a directional template for how to unlock the tissue. Go figure. Holistic truth, it's interwoven into all things. So I'm moving in a cross, planting and pulling. I'm anchoring in, going up and down, side to side. Then I'm soft, like a feathering, like softly dragging my fingertips to the next point where I press in deeper, kind of like a sewing machine. And as I move around, we'll come to some points behind the ear that are more electrical. We're hitting some of these primary neural junctions where the nerves can actually fire some more electricity. Very good. And then I'll get to the base of the skull. Here we go. And I'm up and down, side to side, and deep breath. And as you exhale, let the head stretch off the body. Good. And again. And let it go. And last one. And let it go. Good. So as I finish the final sweep on the head, watch to just go into the breath with the awareness that every breath is an action, and every action lays new memory, which means every breath you take is writing code. Writing code for a new breath. Writing code for a new memory. Most of the breath we take is erratic and chaotic. It's all over the place, shallow, and primarily erratic. So when you breathe through the ujjayi, through the nose, through the throat, it elongates the breath, regulates the heart. And you are consciously using your breath to write code over all of the erratic, shallow, stressed breathing from your body in a compressed state. Good. Final sweep. Present with the breath. And just being a witness. So after we finish the sequence, we let the person, the patient, the practitioner integrate. This is where they go into their breath and they focus on all sensation that's going on. They go into the zone. It doesn't include us, so we step away and give them a moment, if you will, to process, to be present, to record new memory through the breath. Just doing a little mini integration, just giving her a basic for the head. It's a nice intro actually to not go into a full one, but actually just kind of have a sample of what it is to be present to the body as the audience of the mind. The mind makes the body do all kinds of things. This is a reconnection process for the mind to show up for the body and say, I'm here, I'm present, I want to witness everything and be accountable. Show up for the traumas, the sins, missing the mark of the body, the strama, be present and face it and release it. So it truly is a rebirth back to spirit, back to authenticity, to the divine authenticity of us. And I'm guessing this is just going to upload and be on the channel later because I don't see it live at all. So sorry guys, wish you could have been more present and live with us on this. Still working out the bugs. Anything? Yeah. I'm surprised it popped up even for you that it was in a waiting room. Nothing.
Yeah, so if you go to videos,
It just says upcoming, huh? So strange.
It's scheduled.
Scheduled for like,
Recording and it's just not connected.
I don't know, it says it's streaming live. It says everything's running. All I have to do is hit stop on it. We're just going to do a couple more sequences because either way, I guess this will probably upload and give you guys just a little glimpse just to say what's up and, you know, keep you connected to what we're doing, what we have working going on. We have an amazing guest next week. Lauren Johnson finally will be here on the show on Release Sundays Live, going through the secrets of the Tao and connecting the microcosmic orbit, sexual kung fu, the divine essence of us, feels really relevant with everything going on in the world, where there is, in my experience and a more transpersonal view, a greater push for human beings, men and women, to take sexuality much more seriously now in terms of how they want to explore and use their sexuality, and a greater responsibility and accountability for that. So it seems like a perfect time to bring somebody on to teach us about our sacred sexuality through the Taoist arts. And I'm really looking forward to that show next week. Wanted to come on and kind of give a shout for next week. For next Sunday, we'll be rocking that. And yeah, more amazing guests to come. Really exciting stuff. So we wanted to just come on and give you a look in for our Sunday for this. So we'll do a couple more sequences and then we'll say aloha. We're going to start on the eyes next. And again, you'll notice we're going to do both the eyes at the same time instead of one at a time. The eyes are the windows to the soul, but they are the outside windows going to the outside world, and they get overstressed as our eyes zip around, scanning the field survivalistically. All these little tendons and muscles get stressed, and that stress affects the optic nerves, stresses the eyes, eventually strains the eyes, leaving a dehydration of fluid in the eyes, which eventually wears the eyes out. So we are circling the eyes, clearing all these little muscles. Very good. And as we do that, we're activating the various nerve points around this cavity. And activating fresh blood flow and neural activity to the eyes themselves. This is kind of a two-part sequence, because we're going to clear all the muscles of the eyes, but then we're going to lift the eyes in the socket because fake gravity has been pulling them down for a long time, which stresses all the tissue. That's why inversion poses are so healthy in the yogic sciences. Good. Very good. Go ahead and open the eyes. Just kind of do a couple rotations both ways. Stretch them out. Good. And it's good training to just even practice doing a clean circle. And back. Notice how hard it is for you to do that, right? They're zipping all over, right?
Yes.
That's what I was seeing too.
Sorry.
It is.
I'll
So think
listen
of it like you know, trying to do a hip rotation, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
you'll notice, oh, one of those degrees is really tight and it won't make a really clean circle at first. So
Just practice that.
practice. Yeah, it's kind of like, wait, I should be able to do this, right?
Yes.
Like, it's kind of alienating. Why can't I make a clean circle with my eyes, guys?
Yeah.
And also, as you do this, anyone notice, if you guys are doing this at home, how sore you'll find degrees of your eyes are as they rotate? Oh, it's sore right there as I come around. This is all that stress in the eyes. So we're taking our hook tool and we're sweeping around the muscles that are sore, that are imbalanced in their tension, and we are releasing them to even them out. So doing a rotation after is really actually very healthy for them, because they're, obviously, as you can see, they're not rotating properly, right?
Right.
Good. Good. Go ahead and open them again. Just give them another rotation. That's better. Good. Take your time with it too.
Oh, slow it down.
Yeah, try to go slow, because then you'll really catch it. Yeah. There you go. Think of it like a dance move. You know, in a dance move, you have to get your leg to kick this and do that, right? Right? You know, once you get it once, you can do better.
Yes.
You know, just like the glute. Remember when we were in the sciatic and you got it to relax and then you could do it more? So
Yeah. Okay.
play with this just a few times. Try to go slow. This is actually some of the underrated aspects in yoga. In the yogic sciences, we'll do these eye stretches and everyone will be like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's right. Try to do a clean rotation, and everyone has a really hard time. You can go back the other way. Once you get it 2 or 3 times, then try to just slowly, and when I do it, I stretch. I try to look as far as I can and stretch all the way. So I'm actually engaging to stretch the eyes whatever direction, and then I take that tension and I just swing down, trying to hit every degree there. It's hard, isn't it?
But it gets a little easier.
It does, exactly. Because why? Because your muscles start warming up, and you're now you're stretching them in a position that you haven't before, which should be telling, right? Oh, whew. It feels good when you stop too. Like, oh, my eyes, they feel better.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna lift the eyes now. Here we go. This kind of assists in the process. So I'm anchoring the thumb right on the cheekbone, right on the edge of the eye cavity. And then as I lift the tissue, it just stops on its own. There's not even a possibility of it going into the eye socket. It kind of feels like the thumb is gonna go into the eye socket when we do these. But when you anchor into tissue, you'll hit a point of torque or tension that you'd have to slide from that anchor point. So when you anchor properly, it won't go past exactly where it's supposed to go. Boom. That looks like it was really good. I'm gonna do mine. So when I do these on myself and anyone trying this, you're gonna use 2 fingers, you anchor in the cheek, and without sliding on the cheek, see, I'm just stretching the tissue. It kind of stops right at the edge, and that just lifts the eye perfectly in the socket. You can take 1 finger and you press on the outside and the inside, or the middle, I should say, and then the inside gets pressed in on, and then back to the middle and the outside. Oh, better. Clear. Good. We're going to go into the nasal cavity. A lot of the stuff we do on the face will use fabric. So I'm using this fabric because my goal is not to agitate the skin as we go deeper, or also slide on the skin if there's oil on the skin. I want traction. I want clean points and movement. So I'm now holding the bridge of her nose. I know it's hard to see because of the fabric. And I'm moving the fabric, moving. I should have just shot this on my phone live. But we're trying to get this technology dialed in so we can do more recording that's higher quality for everybody. So, very good. And after the basic resetting of the cartilage in the nose, I'm going to take 2 fingers and start clearing the sinus points along the nose here. Very good. Excellent. Still using that cross movement, up and down, side to side, unlocking the tissue as we go, coming up into the sinus points through the eyebrows and out laterally from the medial points. And up, very good. Now deep breath through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Very good. And again, through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Good. Coming back down. Excellent. Good. Sinus clear. So how is this just right off the bat, even with the sequences? Easier?
Yes.
More grounded, more acclimated to the techniques,
Yeah.
right? And that just instantly you can see, oh, it's just so many degrees less than each sequence will be. And some sequences will be more intense,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll notice the overall sequencing is less because you're less intense,
Yes.
So the work doesn't change, it's just the state of your intensity that changes. Yeah. What do you say? One more sequence and then we'll close out on this not live that's going on right now. Jeez. Silly. So we're going to go into the organic facelift now, lifting the cheeks along the same suture line that the face gets stapled by people who apparently don't understand that the muscles in your face will tighten and tone. You don't have to look like you're riding a roller coaster all the time or like you're a marionette puppet because it looks creepy. It doesn't look pretty. Just so you know, ladies, please don't do that to yourself. You can actually lift the cheek muscles in your face. They'll tighten and tone on the skull. They'll produce collagen, which tightens and tones the face naturally. It's actually the most powerful form of collagen production in the face, what we're doing right now. And the cheeks want to go back up because fake gravity's been pulling them down. You might hear me say fake gravity, and that's because what is really gravity, honestly? This scientism has told us. We know there's a force. We call it gravity. Is it really? It doesn't really apply to water. Get a tennis ball wet and throw it in the air. If gravity applied the same way for mass and ratio, that water should stay on the tennis ball as it rotates, but it whips off. So who knows what it really is? It's some kind of a force. Either way, whatever that force is, it's pulling the tissue downward. And so all muscle, all skin, eventually, if you're not doing something to actively reverse it, starts sagging off the frame. Good. So we're lifting and setting it deeply down to its attachments to the skull. And the end result is what she's feeling right now, which is your face should feel more lifted, right? The muscles of the face lifted, sitting higher now. They look completely different. Sitting higher on the bone. We will do a video where I'll do one side at a time, folks, and really show you how different one side of the face looks, how we can pull it up. It's quite alarming, and one of the kind of first aha moments for patients when we go through this and we do the facial lift, and they really do feel such a difference from one side of their face to the other. Very good. Go ahead and lick the lips, and we're going to clear the mouth now. We have a football-sized, football-shaped muscle that goes around your mouth. If you look on an anatomy chart, you'll see what it looks like, kind of like a football. Comes around to the sides here, and the micro-expression for anger actually is to tighten the mouth like this. So we are releasing, because all of us have done the micro-expression of anger over time, and so we're clearing those anger memory patterns. That's why you get wrinkles in your face, is because you program your favorite expressions and micro-expressions into your face. One more time, lick the lips and gently bite down. And we're going to stretch the mouth now for 13 seconds. Very good. Three, two, and one. Gently releasing. I'm doing a Taoist form of clearing. There's a negative etheric gunk that comes off as we do deeper dives into people's physical body. There's an etheric or energetic release. And we as practitioners know it because it locks our hands up. It feels like you're putting your fingers on a hot stove that starts heating up. And no matter how strong our fingers are, it will literally feel like tetany, and our fingers will weaken and lock up past a certain point when we're anchored into a more toxic or deeper area. It's quite alienating and really kind of mind-boggling, because you see it's not really about strength, actually. You're not even pressing that hard, let's say, or you even feel you have more strength to put in, but from the moment you make contact with that point and something deeper is releasing it, there is a kinetic compromise, a kinetic reaction that affects you. And every practitioner will tell you about it. If you even start doing this on yourself and you find a spot that hurts, you'll notice as you're digging in for a while, your fingers will start stinging and hurting because of the stuff coming out. And that's because we don't understand or understand the non-physical realm and how the vibrational is held in the physical and vice versa. to understand that when we release it, there's properties coming off in both the chemical drain and it's the vibrational, what we call etheric burn off. This, many psychics have said it looks like little gray plumes coming off the body. If you can see more subtle energies. Good job. How's the mouth feel? Open? More volume in the lips? Good. So we're about to go into the jaw and the 9 points of the jaw, and we are going to kind of say aloha from here. Thanks for tuning in to this not live video for us. NMRT Apprentice, Angela, and Morgan, thanks for checking out what we're doing this Sunday, and we'll see you next Sunday for this amazing interview with Lauren Johnson from Tao Yoga, exploring the power of sacred sexuality and the microcosmic orbits on that. Aloha and Satnam.